This is wonderful. All right, 7:38 in the morning. That's a look at your headlines. Here's Janice.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. Well, in Money Tuesday today, posing an interesting question dealing with your estate and what happens to that when you pass it along to your loved one. Stewart Welch is here to talk about this. Good morning.
Good morning.
And on the outside, I will say Stewart is dealing with a little throat issues,
Yeah.
so we'll do the best we can, okay?
That sounds great.
Okay, so this was a viewer or a reader question started this, right?
Yeah, she basically said she has an only child, a daughter.
And they have a lot of money that they're dealing with.
This was a couple of $1 million, and she said she's dating somebody we really don't think much of.
Whoops.
And what I don't want is my money to end up with him. And so she said, what can I do?
Okay.
And you know, whether it's $2 million or a lot less money than that, parents worry about their children and money. They worry about money being a disincentive for work.
Right.
They worry about children inheriting money and investing poorly. They worry about misspending the money. They worry about divorce, and I worry about lawsuits. So there are lots of things to worry. And so what we did was develop a concept called a legacy trust.
Okay, so what does a legacy trust do?
So legacy trust, Janice, typically you do it in the will, which means it doesn't become effective until the last parent to die. So the last parent dies, and instead of giving the money to the child outright, this money is going to go into a trust, and this is going to be a protective trust. But essentially what the trust is going to do is it's going to say, I'm going to give the child the income from the trust. On a couple of $1 million, that'd be like $80,000 a year, so it's a lot of money. I'm going to give her the principal under certain circumstances, so certainly for health, any health reasons or education, could be for a down payment on a home, whatever you decide is important.
You put it within that trust.
You put it within the language of that trust, but outside of that, the trust is going to have language that protects that money in case that child got a divorce, or if that child got a judgment in a lawsuit, it's going to protect them. And even you can structure it in a way that it protects it from future estate taxes if they're subject to those.
So you're making decisions on things that you worry about they will not be able to make the best decisions for themselves at that time. You just go ahead and put that in there, and then there's nothing that can be done about that because it's in that trust.
So what you're really doing is, you know, the way I like to say it is I turn to my adult child, and I say, this is my stuff. You go get your own stuff, but with my stuff, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it up in a way that's going to protect you, and we can actually do this in a way that protects multiple generations of family members. So it'd be your child, and then your grandchildren, and potentially your great-grandchildren.
Now you said, you know, if you are leaving your family, no matter what you're leaving your family, it doesn't have to be $2 million to put this kind of language in a will, right?
It does not. So I think, you know, I probably wouldn't do it for under $100,000, but you know, a couple $100,000 I would.
Okay. If you wanted the paperwork on this,
we've got a white paper. You can email me at stewart@welchgroup.com, and I'll send you a white paper that gives a lot more details on the legacy trust.
and you can also link at myfoxal.com. Stewart Welch, thank you.
Thanks, Janice.
Back in a moment.